Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Well, today I'm really excited to be taking a look at a new camera that I purchased. It's been on the market for about 2 years now, I think, and we're looking at the Ricoh, let's pick up the right one, the Ricoh GR III. Now, so many of you, if not all of you, will be well aware of the Ricoh GR III. I suspect some of you may even own it, but I purchased it because I've been looking for a nice compact camera I can keep with me all the time, and a fun camera that I can take great images with. And you know, when I'm going out and about, mainly with my brother or with my fiance, sometimes I don't want to take, you know, my full kit. So, well, actually most times I don't want to take my full kit. So I want to take a nice little pocket camera that is discreet as well. So, you know, you're not going to be so obvious when you're actually out and about taking photographs with a compact camera. Now, I've been using my iPhone. I've also been using my Google Pixel 6 Pro. I thought I had it on the table. Here it is, yeah. I've been using my Google Pixel 6 Pro, which is a fantastic product. I love the camera on this phone, and I think it's actually probably better than the camera on my iPhone. So, you know, I thought, do I really need another compact camera when I'm really happy with what the Google Pixel 6 Pro produces? But I've always been, you know, looking at the Ricoh products. I've been looking at the Ricoh GR III for a long time. But I could never justify spending like £800–900 on a little compact camera. But I did. I got it for £700, so I got it 100 quid off. So I went out and purchased the Ricoh GR III. I'm going to go through some of the images on the computer, but I want to say I love this little camera. It's a great fun camera to take photographs with. It's very easy, and it is literally a point and shoot camera, but not point and shoot sort of quality images. They're very much, you know, aligned with images you'll get off your APS-C mirrorless camera or your APS-C DSLR. In fact, I've done a comparison purely for fun, not for any scientific reason, but I took out my Ricoh GR III, which we have here, with my Canon R7, which is actually filming this shot over here. So I'm just getting a generic shot, sort of a wide shot of me working on the computer. And I took out the R7 with the Ricoh GR III with the sole intention to see if this little camera can compete with, you know, a bigger camera, a bigger sensor. Well, it's an APS-C sensor, but it's a higher megapixel count on the R7, obviously interchangeable lenses, so on and so forth. And the Ricoh GR III is brilliant, and I'm going to go through some of the images, as I say, and there is a separate video where I've compared this against the Canon R7. But this is the Ricoh GR III. Now there's 3 models in the range. There's the GR3, the GR3X, which has an equivalent 42mm lens. This has got an equivalent 28mm lens. In full frame terms, an equivalent 28mm lens. And then there's the GR3 Urban Edition. I'm not quite sure what the differences are. I think the Urban Edition has got a different colour ring. These rings come off, they're interchangeable, so you can buy different coloured rings basically for it. I've just left it, the black one that came with it. There are criticisms that these rings fall off easily, and even Phil in the camera shop said be careful that you don't lose the adapter ring, because it will fall off. And I've not had that. Apparently the fitting, the bayonet fitting, is not very strong, so they tend to slip off. I've not had that. I find that one has been working fine, no problem with that. So it's quite to me, it feels like quite a firm fit, but you know, there you go. But yeah, Ricoh GR III, very compact camera. It hasn't got a tilting screen, so you are reliant on the 3-inch touchscreen on the back. Again, that put me off buying it as well over the years, because it hasn't got the tilty-wilty screen. I do like to have a tilty-wilty screen, and to be quite honest, I've not really missed it with a little compact camera like this. I really haven't missed it, which is bizarre. I thought I would do. I also haven't missed the fact that it has no viewfinder. And I think I'm getting used to that now, because with the iPhone and with my Google Pixel 6 Pro, they have no viewfinders. You're completely reliant on the screen on the back, and no problems with that whatsoever. So, you know, you do get used to the fact that there is no viewfinder with these modern compact cameras. Also, it's enabled it to be a lot more compact without the viewfinder. So, you know, quite interesting really. The shutter button is a large button on the top here, which is nice. That's easy to get to. You don't have to fumble around looking for the shutter button. It has got a control dial on the front here, which you can set if you're in aperture priority, that'll control the aperture. Shutter priority, it'll control the shutter speed. Manual, it will control the aperture. Then the wheel on the back can control the shutter speed. It's got a rotating dial on the back here, as well as this dial on the top here. Now, it is very configurable, and I think that is great for such a little compact camera. You can pretty much set it up exactly how you want, and it has got various function buttons. Now, these buttons on the back here, it's got a touchpad on the back here as well, and I've set mine up for different functions, and it works great. You know, here is your exposure compensation dial on the back here, so you turn that to adjust your exposure compensation up and down. I find that works great, and you can push it in to get to other functions, and again, completely configurable. Along the top there, you will see a row of different functions, and you can get to them just by scrolling through using this. My hand isn't in the way. Using this dial here just to go through the different it's like a quick menu really, that you have on Panasonic cameras, you have on Canon cameras, pretty much all of them. So you can quickly go through your different settings. I've got it set up for different things. One of the main things that I use it for, I've got that set up there for adjusting the screen brightness, because that was a concern to me. Using this in broad daylight, particularly sunlight, would I be able to see the back of the screen? The fact that I've set up on that particular function, I can adjust the screen brightness at a touch of a button effectively, is great, because if it's in bright sunlight, I just increase the brightness of the screen, you know, no big deal. It's got so many different autofocus functions, which is phenomenal. I thought it would just be a point and shoot, but no, you can set it to a wide area AF, pinpoint AF, AF tracking, and it also has a mode on here where you can set it just to snap to focus. So it doesn't actually autofocus. It sets a fixed focus point, and then you can preset that. And you can preset that to like 1 meter, 1.5 meters, 2 meters, infinity, or whatever. So when you take a photograph, the camera doesn't have to hunt for focus. It's already pre-focused, for want of a better description. It's set a pre-focus point. Also, you can go one step further, because you can set it to a certain aperture. So I've got this function button on here set to be able to activate this pre-focus setting, for want of a better description. So when I push that in, that'll now come up with it's got there, you might be able to see that DO3, it says DO3 on there. So that'll set an f8 aperture at a predefined focus point, but f8 will get everything in focus. So that is great. I don't have to worry about autofocusing, just take the photograph and job's done. And then when I want to go out of that mode, I literally just push that back in again, and then now we're back into your normal focusing. And what I do, I use on-spot focus. I find that works so well for me. I mean, everyone will have different use cases and everyone will work differently, but I love working that way. So all I do is literally tap the screen to where I want it to focus, and then push the focus, push the shutter release, and that'll take the photograph. So basically, I just tap to focus. So it's always difficult doing it when you're back to front, but tap to focus like that, and then just take the photograph. Simple as that. And that's how I find this camera works so well for me. It has got face detect, so you can leave that set on that. I leave that set, so when I'm taking photographs of my brother, then it'll automatically pick up the face and then take the photograph. So that's awesome. So yeah, great little camera. Battery life isn't fantastic. We all know that, because all the reviewers have said the same thing. It takes a piddly little battery, which is understandable because it's a little camera, but it takes a little battery, just slots in the back here, there, and the bottom there. The SD card goes in the same compartment as the battery. It's a little piddly little battery. But again, battery life doesn't really bother me. I just have a couple of spare batteries in my pocket, and that suits me fine. It works a treat. The lens automatically retracts, so it keeps it covered, so when you've got it in your pocket you're not going to get dust in it. I don't know long term how bad this is at collecting dust, because obviously that lens is retracting and moving out every time you turn it on and off. You can see that will go in, and then the blades will cover the actual lens. So I don't know if it will attract dust and debris in the lens long term. I hope not, but there you go. It's got USB-C charging and USB-C for actually outputting the files to your computer. I don't really use the USB-C port that often. I've got a separate battery charger. Unfortunately, Ricoh don't supply an external battery charger when you buy the camera. They only supply the USB-C leads, so that to me is a bit of a downside. A lot of manufacturers are doing that now. They're not including battery chargers in with their cameras, and I find that really annoying, because if you're using the camera, you don't want to be charging it up at the same time, if that makes sense, because you can't use it. So you have to end up buying a separate battery charger. But yeah, when I'm going out, I just take a couple of spare batteries, put in my little pouch. I've got a little pouch, I keep this on my belt, can shove it in my pocket, either way. Works really, really well, yeah. So great little camera. APS-C sensor, 24 megapixel APS-C sensor. That's one of the things that really attracted me to this little camera, was the fact that it's got quite a large sensor. I mean, it's an APS-C sensor, same size as you'll find in my Canon R7 or my, well, not my Canon RP, that's full frame, my Canon R10 over there, which is picking up the wide shot. I get confused, I've got so many cameras. But getting back to the Ricoh GR3, there is a slight disconcerting thing with the GR3. It's got a 3-axis IBIS, 3-axis image stabilization built into the camera, and it shakes. You can feel it when the camera's turned off. You can feel this rattling thing inside the camera, very disconcerting. But that is basically the image stabilization. The minute you turn a camera on, that goes away, because that is helping stabilize your image, and that is great for stills. If you're setting a slow shutter speed, you're going to get a sharp image, which is fantastic. Also, the video quality on this is pretty average. I haven't actually shot much video content with it because it isn't actually that good. It's only 1080p, but it's not designed as a video camera. As I'm going out and about, I would pick up my phone to do video if I need to do video, be it my iPhone or my Google Pixel 6 Pro. So don't buy it thinking you'll be able to get great video content with your Ricoh GR3. There is no mic input either, so it is primarily a stills camera. But what a fun camera to use. I really enjoy using it. The command dial at the top here is also lockable. It is lockable, so you can't accidentally turn that. You have to just push that little button in. Well, it's not a button. Yeah, well, it is a button. A little button on the top there. Then the dial turns. And that works absolutely fine, no problem with that at all. I think that's great. So when you're taking it in and out of your pocket, you're not going to find that you're in manual when you wanted to be in shutter priority. It will remain where it was when you put it in your bag. And as I say, that's about it as far as controls on the camera. It's got one nice little feature, that you don't have to turn it on, the power on properly to play back. If you hit the play button on the back of a camera, then that'll go into play mode, and lo and behold, there it is. And then you can scroll through your images. I think that's the only image. There's a few images on there. So I say fully touch screen, you can scroll through them that way without having to physically turn the camera on. You can see here, it hasn't powered the lens up or anything. So that's quite a nice little feature. And yeah, great. So what we'll do now, we'll have a quick look at some of the images that I've taken with Ricoh GR3, and they're sharp, they really are gorgeous. I really love this camera. As I say, I keep saying it, but I'm going to keep saying it. I'm not bothered where we choose, it doesn't really matter where we go. So let's go here, let's go full frame anyway. But, the colours, the definition, the sharpness, and because it's an APS-C sensor, even though it's a 28mm lens, you still get that out of focus area. So you can still get that lovely separation between the subject and the background, which is really, really difficult to do with a mobile phone, almost impossible to do with a mobile phone, but it is completely possible to do with the Ricoh GR3. I tend not to use so much this snap to focus because that gets rid of that lovely bokeh effect, because pretty much everything is in focus from the foreground to the background, almost mimicking what a mobile phone is like. And that's why I went for, not that one, that's my little Sony, I don't know where I put it, there it is. That's why I went for the Ricoh GR3, simply because of the APS-C sensor, and you could create that separation between the foreground and the background, which is great if you're doing portraits. It's not a portrait camera, but what I mean, if you are taking images, you know, of loved ones and whatever, and you want that separation, particularly for street photography, and that's where this shines, is in street photography. But again, you know, if I just spin through these, now these images are all on my Flickr page, so I will leave a link in the description to my Flickr page. So if you do want to take a look at them much closer than looking at them on this YouTube video, by all means go to my Flickr page and have a good look at them there. But again, depth of field, sharpness, colours, absolutely gorgeous. Really, really nice. And you can see here, there's just a lot of detail. It's picking up all the detail. The sensor is a great sensor. Look at the colours there. Again, and the detail. Such a nice little camera to keep in your pocket. I have to say though, it isn't a cheap camera. I mean, anything between like 700 and, you know, 800, 900 pounds. Certainly not a cheap camera. It's not an impulse buy. It is a considered purchase. But if you enjoy photography and you want to be able to take great images when you are, you know, out with a family or out and about, I think the Ricoh GR3 is a great option. And I think it's a better option than the 1-inch sensor cameras. I have got the little Sony ZV-1F. I've got the ZV-1 as well. The ZV-1's over here picking up the close-up shots. Now this ZV-1F I won't get rid of because it's a great video camera. But I have this one, and this has got a fixed 20mm lens, equivalent to 20mm, fixed 20mm lens. But as it's only a 1-inch sensor, it has drawbacks with photography, and you know, the photographs are nice, but they're nowhere near what the Ricoh GR3 can produce. Also, this only shoots JPEG, which is a big downside. Heaven knows why Sony went down that road and producing a camera that only shoots JPEG. It's really bonkers, certainly in this day and age. But yeah, so that's why I went for a Ricoh GR3. But again, the definition and the contrast, it doesn't look digital. That's what I like about it. They've got this filmic look that is just, the texture is just so lovely. I think texture is the right word. It just looks more, even indoors in low light, it looks great. The colours are great. This is all shot on auto white balance. Look how strong those colours are. I think they're just gorgeous. I really do. You know, I can't think of anything, but again, look at the lovely depth of field there. Look at the lovely separation between the foreground and the background there. It works out really, really well. So, yeah, and it has this macro capability. And I think that is really nice on a little compact camera. They call it macro. It isn't like a one-to-one macro. So you're not going to get, you know, life-size images. But on the camera, you've got a little, again, using the function wheel on the back here, when you push it in, the top button in, the lens will go into macro mode. So you can actually go in really tight and photograph something up really, really tight. I mean, how close is that? That's pretty damn close, you know, and get some really, really nice images. You can see there how close that was, you know. And it's great that you've got macro image. Now, macro is a really difficult subject and a really difficult thing to do because your lighting changes and the camera can actually obscure the light coming in to light the subject. So you have to be really careful when you are getting in that close to the subject. But, you know, for flowers and things like that, it's great having this macro facility. They come out beautifully sharp, and again, the colours are great. Yeah. Again here, sharpness is fantastic. Yeah. I could go on for a long time about the Ricoh GR III because I love the camera. I'm really, really glad that I bought it. I wasn't quite sure when I got it. I thought maybe I'd have to return it, so I didn't get on with it. But no, a delightful camera to use, absolutely delightful camera to use. So yeah, that's the Ricoh GR III. I hope you found this video useful. Don't forget to take a look at the images on my Flickr site. That would be fantastic. Yeah, if you can afford it and you can justify the cost of it, then I think the Ricoh GR III is a fabulous investment. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this video useful. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button if you like the content of my videos. Would really, really appreciate that. It helps me grow the channel. Thanks very much, and stay tuned for more videos relating to video and photography. Cheers for now. Bye.